You guys want to talk about how Donald Trump's life possibly is over? Listen, this is incredible. Now, I knew that Donald Trump was going to be hit with some pretty serious consequences for him lying, cheating, and stealing over his entire life. But I didn't think it was going to be this soon, because he's been hit with something really, really bad, and you need to see it, okay? Earlier today, as of this recording, Donald Trump lost a civil suit in New York about his businesses. And basically, the judge said that he committed fraud in the highest degree, that they can charge him in a civil case, and is going to have real long-lasting effects on him, his business, his everything, his family as well, and it's completely crumbling. The Trump empire may not be much longer for this world. Let's listen a little bit to what this, I don't know, reporter or whatever has to say. Lady, take it away, lady.
Breaking news, a judge just ruling that Donald Trump, his sons, Don Jr. and Eric, and the entire Trump organization committed extensive and persistent fraud over a decade. The ruling says the former president inflated the value of his assets by billions of dollars and then lied about his net worth on financial documents to banks and insurance companies.
Just so you know, that's illegal. This is something that like rich people have been doing forever. Buy properties, lie about how much they're worth to get tax write-offs. Basically, it's much harder for like people like you and me to do it. But when you can keep money in overshore accounts and what we got, the things like the Panama Papers, it's just so much easier for them to have little to no or even negative taxes from the government for you to pay a higher tax rate than someone like Donald Trump, which literally makes no sense whatsoever.
This now leads to the cancellation of the company's New York business license, which means the Trump organization could lose control over properties like Trump Tower in Midtown Manhattan.
You heard that right. So basically what happened is that he was found to commit fraud. And so what the judge did is that they revoked all of the LLC licenses and forcing the Trump boys to dissolve their LLCs, which could easily lead to the company shutting down or losing control of almost all of their assets. So let's take a look at this, okay? The ruling came in response to a request by the New York General Attorney Letitia James, seeking judgment on one of the claims in her $250 million civil lawsuit, which is scheduled to go to trial on October 2nd. The judge agreed with James's office that is beyond dispute that Trump and his company provided banks with financial statements that misrepresented the wealth by as much as $3.6 billion. The documents here clearly contain fraudulent valuations that defendants used in business, the judge wrote in his ruling. He ordered that within 10 days, they must recommend potential independent receivers to manage the dissolution of the canceled LLCs. So basically what happened is that the LLCs have to be canceled. Their business licenses are canceled. So Trump organizations, many business licenses that they have, because they lied so erroneously to banks and the government, to the IRS, to the government of New York and the New York City, they can't be operating businesses the way that they used to. It's not like you get a slap on the wrist. Oh, it's like, we take your wrist. That's my wrist now, boy. Wrist is collateral. James's office sued Trump and his sons, Eric. It's crazy how Junior and Eric is mentioned because bro never mentions Eric. Bro never mentions Eric. I mean, Trump tried to throw Eric under the bus recently, didn't he? Trump was like blaming his own children. He was blaming his own children for the things that he committed to the government. It was crazy. Well, let me see. Can I find this? Found it. I gotcha.
He sat for a 7-hour deposition with the New York AG's office and their lawsuit against him. We just got to actually read this lawsuit. I mean, there's a lot to it, but there's a few moments that stick out, you know. And one, and of course, this is going to trial in a few months, but he's asked about the relationship with his company and who's the one with the ultimate decision-making authority. And I noticed he said no. And the AG's office asked, who would that be? And he said, my son Eric is much more involved with it than I am. I've been doing other things. And then he said, you know, he's involved in major final decisions, you know, whatever. That was his quote. I mean, when you read that, he sat for a...
So basically, that's cold. Yeah, so he was trying to save his own skin by throwing his son under the bus and being like, oh, actually, I don't I don't do anything. It was actually my son who does. My son does all the Eric. Dude, he hates Eric. And I would say it's, he tried to do the same thing with Junior. He was trying to pass off all the blame to Junior and Eric. And I'm telling you, this was made. He made that statement a day after Eric posted. Sorry, day after Junior posted this. Okay, this is a real Instagram post by Donald Trump Jr. His own son posted his own father with like a fake censored like 24-inch horse cock. That's got a sting? It does. One day after, literally glazing your own dad. I'm talking about grapefruit method, drooling, all right, needs to come up for air, glazing his own father. And the next day he's posting shit like that about you and your brother. That's crazy. The level of dick riding is crazy, but at least, I don't know, they keep it in the family. That's very interesting, Mr. Trump. He's doing tricks on it. Oh, headhunter. A little cough, spit. Yeah. 100%. Dad finally loves me. Yeah, famous last words. And it seems like they were indeed his last words. It's pretty bad. They just found as a fact that Trump and the company overstated the valuations of many properties by hundreds of millions of dollars. He cited the Palm Beach advisor valuation of Trump's Mar-a-Lago club between $18 and $28 million each year between 2011 and 2021. The values of which he paid in local property taxes. During those years, Trump valued the property between $328 million and almost $1 billion on his annual statements of financial conditions. Ah, yes, Mar-a-Lago, easily 200,000 to 700. 300 million to $700 million. Obviously, easily, guys. Any day of the week. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. Come on, it's true. It's real. So when this happened, okay, Eric, mind you, who just got thrown under the bus by his own dad, posted this after the legal finding comes down that they've just been lying through their teeth the entire time. And Trump's the one who's mostly been doing it, but he took the fall for it, okay? Eric tweeted, "In an attempt to destroy my father and kick him out of New York, a judge has ruled that Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida is only worth approximately $18 million. Mar-a-Lago is speculated to be worth over $1 billion, making it arguably the most valuable rental property in America. It is also corrupt and coordinated." Yeah, Mar-a-Lago, the most expensive rental property in the country of the United States of America. As if that's cap. I've never listen, okay? This guy could go on a whole multi-world adventure, an Odyssey even, with a cap like that. It's crazy. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. Ain't nobody is sitting here believing that Mar-a-Lago, the failed golf course that people only go to go like try and steal, people only went to try and steal some documents from the United States of America sitting in Donald Trump's toilet, is worth over $1 billion. And the craziest thing about it is that if this is true, that Mar-a-Lago has been valued at over $1 billion, he's still lying about the valuation and the worth of the property, because he said 700 million, when apparently it's supposed to be over $1 billion. So he's like, so they're underestimating the value of the property by $250 million, possibly. Just yeah, you know, either $250 million or over $1 billion, or almost $1 billion, either at or greater $1 billion. So he's lying either way. He's just, hey, listen, we weren't lying that much. Listen, it's a different lie. It's a different type of lie. We promise. Come on, man. Cut us some slack. It's important to remember that the Trump Organization is an American success story This was put out by the Trump organization. The fact that this court summarily found that there is no question, in fact, finding that in part that Mar-a-Lago is worth approximately 20 million is a massive issue in our fragile legal system. It's so sad. It's so sad. During arguments Friday related to the motions, a lawyer for James' office said that Trump signed off on so-called statements of financial condition portraying many properties he had held and owned as worth hundreds of millions more than the very valuations and appraisers had said. And it's just wild. Engoron also ruled Tuesday on a separate motion of the New York Attorney General seeking sanctions against Trump's legal team for repeatedly making arguments Engoron and other courts had already rejected. James' office asked the judge to impose a fine of $20,000, but Engoron was like, no, you're right, but actually the punishment isn't enough. Give me $37,000. Listen, fuck you money for wasting my time is crazy, dude. They actually thought that they could like reduce listen, it actually, oral arguments is the only time that Donald Trump and his organization has actually cared about recycling. And that's the wildest thing to me. That's so interesting. That's so interesting. All right. They said he repeatedly engaged in fraud. And we can take a look at this, the order here, down here, within 10 days of this date, the parties are directed to recommend the names of no more than 3 potential independent receivers to manage the dissolution of the canceled LLCs. And it is further that the Honorable Barrett S. Jones shall continue to serve as an independent monitor of the Trump organization until further court order. So this basically means that now the entire Trump organization, money, every dollar in, every dollar out, completely has to be monitored by the court, because they can't be trusted with any amount of money by themselves anymore. You're ugly. You're disgusting. Give me $37,500. Oh man, fuck this guy, dude. Oh, he deserved it. Or Meadows burns White House documents. Yeah, or Meadows like under Donald Trump burning White House documents. I was just following orders. Apparently, I was simply just following orders. You don't understand. And apparently, it's been valued. Mar-a-Lago, it's been valued at on Zillow for costing way less money. Apparently, Mar-a-Lago's on fucking Zillow. And it has a Zestimate as well. That's way lower. That's so interesting. Remarkable. Incredible. Unbelievable. All right, well, there you go. I don't think I have too much more to the story. It's just Donald Trump could lose everything. Just like to hammer home the importance of this and those LOCs getting canceled. It's actually super important because like the people caught up in this, Alan Weisselberg, who's working for the feds and the New York State and the New York City against Trump and the organization, Trump Organization Incorporated, LLC, Donald John Trump Holdings, like Trump Holdings, managing member, Trump Endeavor, all of these several companies, lots of companies that he makes a lot of money from are now going to lose their business licenses and could very easily lose a large portion, significant amount of, or almost all of almost all of their assets, because they're losing their business licenses. They can no longer, in some instances, they can't continue business either at all or in some capacity that they used to be able to do. This is not some small thing. This is kind of huge. And this could lead to Donald Trump and company just losing almost everything that they have. Or if not, losing so much money that they no longer are able to keep up with a lot of the lawsuits that they have still, because they have like many lawsuits still that they have to worry about. They have to pay for so many lawyers now. They have to pay for so many things. It's not just like they have so much like money in, money out. We talked about this a little while ago that Donald Trump and crew are now underwater when it comes to money. The Donald Trump campaign spent more money last month than they brought in. That's not okay. That's not good. And yeah, like you remember when they pivoted to NFTs and that didn't work out either? Listen, and now it won't work out because all NFTs are completely worthless. We'll talk about that soon too. Trump is such a snake. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow he weasels his way out of this. I mean, the reason why he's been able to weasel his way out of things is the same way Elon Musk has, with just throwing a lot of money at it until people either give up or it takes so long that he's able to do other things to like move money out of the way and be able to push things off to offset the losses that they could possibly take. And the fact that our legal system is just not built in a lot of instances to like accurately punish people with as much wealth as people like Donald Trump, Elon Musk, just all of these people. It's just not built. Our system was not built for people to have this much money, and yet they're allowed to with a system that we have, and we see the consequences of that you can do basically whatever you want because these types of fines only harm poor people. I like $1,000 fine for me would be devastating at the moment. $1,000 fine for people like Donald Trump and crew would be nothing. They could sneeze and $1,000 could fall out of their pocket and they wouldn't even notice. Maybe with Trump, not necessarily anymore with like how bad his financials are getting, especially with this going to be taking off. But yeah, it's bad. Trump taking the L finally. The L's are only going to start piling up. It's only going to start piling up because they can only run so far until reality catches up with them. They have fucked around. At some point, they will find out, and it's not going to be pretty. And I'm going to be here to laugh at it because fuck them for what they did to the country, who they are. I'm sick of it. Come here. Oh. Hi. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.